XRP holders, holy smokies, ain't no jokies. Tom Lee just startled everyone once more with remarks that have the potential to yield enormous profits. Additionally, there are just 2 days left before a significant event for XRP takes place. How might that impact XRP, and what does that mean for XRP? We will also discuss the recent opening of a huge long by a large whale. I only ask that you smile at me so that I can radiate positive energy. Let's get started. Smishity, hit the like button because it's free. As of right now, XRP is trading at $2.32. XRP has dropped 2.29%. XRP is comparable to other cryptocurrency markets. The total is down about 0.81% in my opinion. Ethereum is down 2.63% as well. Here, Polygon, Pipe, SHIB, and Sol are all down 1% or 2%. XRP is therefore comparable to the rest of the cryptocurrency market. If you look at the 4-hour chart, you can see that we are oversold and that there was a crossover on the 1,348 EMA. Therefore, it would be intriguing to observe whether XRP can break out of this trend line. Additionally, the XRP support level is 226 here. Therefore, I believe it would be a short-term positive indicator if XRP could recover from this. Maybe this crossover, and we'll observe the outcome of that. At the 103 level, Bitcoin is still holding quite well. Bitcoin has essentially been closing in this 103 area for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 days in a row. And as we move past this weekend and into the following week, it will be intriguing to see when May draws to a close, will we witness people beginning to sell May and leave? Are we going to see such an event? Or do we observe the opposite and witness some bullish movement instead? As usual, this is not financial advice. Before making an investment, always conduct your own research. I have no idea what the market will do on a daily or weekly basis. I am able to forecast what might occur if, say, a BC occurs as well as what would occur if DF occurs. However, to describe what occurs on a daily basis, you're not sure. The news is unknown to us. We have no idea what Trump will do. We have no idea what Moody's going to do or anything else of that sort. Additionally, I will never advise you to buy, sell, or hold. Additionally, keep in mind that I will never message you on social media to ask you to send me money or join up for anything. They are con artists. Be extremely cautious out there, please. We can tell that someone recently opened a 276 million long position on Bitcoin if we go back and look. Is there something he knows? In addition, he made a 20x long on XRP for $34 million, by the way. This shows a great deal of faith in Pipe. Therefore, it will be fascinating to watch this. As you can see, XRP is slightly down, but the other two are up. On that, it is 43 million. Are you aware that this enormous whale is aware of something? Additionally, we'll have to wait and watch if a breakout for XRP occurs. It goes without saying that on Monday, we will have XRP futures that formally open on the CME group. And once more, we discussed this a few days ago. I only wanted to bring this to your attention. It doesn't indicate a rise or fall. I think this simply suggests that XRP will be more volatile in the future. Additionally, this may be viewed favorably by some. Some may view this as negative, but I want you to understand why it's possible that XRP will see more volatility after the weekend, or that it will be manipulated due to gaps that are forming as a result of there being no trading over the weekend, even though XRP is trading on the weekend. As usual, it's crucial to keep that in mind. I also want to remind you of our partner, BTC, before we move on. They will give you the chance to use leverage trading if you're interested in doing so. On the market, you can go long. On the market, you can go short. They have a demo, which is awesome. Thus, you can begin the demo with fictitious money. You can then switch to real money if you like it and succeed. Or you can move directly to real money if you already know how to apply leverage. However, kindly trade responsibly. I have created thousands of expositions and lost a lot of money due to stop loss and liquidation. Therefore, kindly trade responsibly. Additionally, despite Bitcoin's 13-year history, exchanges have closed. Exchanges have gone bankrupt. Read the user agreement, then make sure you know what you're entering into and what leverage means. All right. Let's now discuss what Tom Lee recently stated, what we may infer from it, and what might occur. With the market, the current situation of the market, and the potential impact on XRP and the cryptocurrency market, let's listen to what he has to say and what they are. Verify that everything is in order. The next guest makes the case that the risk-reward ratio has improved significantly since the start of the trade war. The Fundstrat's joining us now is Tom Lee, a contributor for CNBC from Miami. As usual, it's lovely to see. How is that even possible? How has the risk-reward ratio improved since then? Scott, we must remember that there were many unknowns ahead of us and that we weren't definitely looking to 2026 when we look back to February, when the market was at all-time highs. Compared to 3 months ago, the tariff visibility is far better now. Additionally, I believe that there are things to look forward to in 2026, such tax cuts and deregulation. What is he saying? This is intriguing. Hey everyone, pay attention, February. We had no idea what was going to happen. We were aware that tariffs would be imposed. New, which is why we saw. By the way, if you go back and look, you'll see that even before the stock market began to decline, there were some insane days here. We have far more clarity now than we did at the beginning of February, when the cryptocurrency market went crazy and we witnessed tremendous sell-offs. Of course, the stock market also saw sell-offs. Much more is known to us. Additionally, if you consider the actions and forecasts of the markets, you will see that they typically make predictions 6 months in advance. Large sums of money will probably enter the market if they believe that, things will improve in 6 months. We typically consolidate when there is uncertainty. Additionally, we typically sell off a little bit if there's a lot of worry. Well, compared to February, when the stock and cryptocurrency markets were at all-time highs, we now have a lot more clarity. Naturally, Bitcoin reached its highest point ever. Additionally, one might say that XRP had it's debatable whether or not it reached an all-time high. There's that record-breaking peak that you see everywhere. We previously discussed the exchange rate between the Korean won and the US dollar on a Korean exchange. Let's ignore that for a moment. It will be interesting to observe, but let's call it the local high. Let's keep listening to his words. Thus, this is the 5th business stress test. When I consider all of these, I believe that P will likely be greater in 6 months as opposed to less. Additionally, I believe that stocks still have upside potential when it comes to 2026 earnings. You're not discounting the remainder of this year because you keep bringing up the number 26. There are still 7 months left. Yes, we have a great deal. Between now and your end, we have a lot of history to write. However, bear in mind that the stock market's precipitous drop also represented a near total shift in mood and posture. Investors were compelled to sell when the VIX reached 60. We are aware that many institutions chose not to respond when the market recovered.